Hello everyone, it's Wale here. Mind Body Breakthrough. It's lovely to be able to join you here in our question and answer time. I've received a lot of questions, which are really personal. A lot of questions that have come in today for me to answer, and a lot of them are very they're deep questions and they're very personal. And hopefully we've got about 30 minutes today, and hopefully I will be able to cover as many as possible. If you still have any question while you watch me right now, you could I actually just use the question and answer page, the event page today, to give me a question. So if you're just joining us, you can still give me a question. I can catch some of the other questions or follow-up questions today on my computer here. Anxiety is a problem. I go to different places overseas, in this country, to discuss anxiety. What we do know is that anxiety on its own is not our problem. It's not the problem, because anxiety is part of a natural defense mechanism for the survival of our beings. But because life is tough, a lot of things that we go through in life eventually programs us for anxiety. Because when we've fired the stress hormones many times because of situations that we go through, eventually the brain will rewire itself to make our anxiety habits automatic. And that is the situation. And I wish to be able to tell you that anxiety is easy to transform, but it is not. It is not easy to transform. Why? Because our brain is involved, and there are a lot of biochemical reactions that take place in us. I'm getting some messages here from Julie. I hate my 4 a.m. anxiety lasts until about lunchtime. I was supposed to come to Gateshead, but I couldn't face leaving the house. Hey, yeah, sorry about that, Julie. I'm desperate for help. I'm a full-time carer. I feel so isolated. And let me just read a little bit more of that. Okay. And lonely. I tell you what, I understand what you're going through, Julie. We had a great time at Gateshead. We missed you because a few people couldn't make it. One of the greatest understanding of anxiety that I've learned over the years is that anxiety, we should not hate anxiety. Anxiety should not be resented, or we can't shut our doors and say, well, anxiety is my enemy. There's no way I can defeat it. I hate my anxiety. We hate the symptoms, but the anxiety itself is very important for our survival. Now, why do we get into a place of a place where we eventually become paralyzed by anxiety? It's because the stress hormones are extremely addictive to the body, and also the brain eventually gets involved. When you're going through the problems you've been through in your life, the job situation, the bullying situation, the emotional abuse situation, and different kind of challenges that we go through, I tell you what, eventually the brain recognizes a pattern. The brain is in charge of a pattern recognition. It recognizes pattern of your emotional, your chemical reactions. Also, it recognizes your worries. When you worry all the time, the brain recognizes that, and eventually over time, the brain rewires itself to make sure that your anxiety disorder becomes automatic. It's almost as if it's been ingrained like a tattoo to the fabrics of our brain matter. But I'm here to share about solutions. Hello there, Lou. Lovely to see you. Last time was it in Glasgow or in guess either Glasgow or just last weekend. I couldn't remember. I can't remember where I am. It's been extremely busy. Anyway, the first place to start is to establish the fact that for anxiety disorder to be transformed. Yeah, Lou is a get set. Sorry about that. I don't know where I am sometimes. Things just happen very quickly. Is to properly understand. The first thing to understand with anxiety disorder is to know that it's going to go away overnight. Secondly, is to know that we have to change our understanding of anxiety. Okay? Thirdly, we have to realize that it will be transformed one neuron at a time. Okay? So now, let me just start with a lot of questions have come in, and I know that there are similarities, even though very different, with a lot of questions that I've got today. Let me start from the Sharon. Sharon has sent in this question. Hi, I am 2 years in remission from breast cancer, suffering side effects from the chemo, and have ongoing health issues as I now have damaged nerves, neuropathy. I have a great fear that cancer may come back. Lack of sleep and being in chronic pain causes anxiety and panic attacks, mostly at night. How do I learn to manage or control this fear? This is a huge question. If you've had cancer before, it is very common that you will develop a fear that the cancer might come back. I was in where I was actually in York towards the end of last year, and a lady had attended our event, and she shared something very, very, very interesting with me. She said that she managed to actually monitor her life. She had cancer, and she eventually, the doctor declared her all clear. But she realized that when life events got to her and she began to worry a lot, she could see that that some of the symptoms, the whole symptoms of that she felt during those periods of when she had cancer, almost like they started coming back. And during those periods of time, if she managed to go for her normal checks at the hospital, things would not be looking good. Almost as if every cell in her body was responding to the way she was thinking, the way she was feeling. So what we do know is that it's an extremely challenging time when we have cancer. So first of all, you feeling as though the fear that the cancer will come back is natural. A lot of people do that because it's a life-changing situation. But what I want to advise you is that one of the greatest keys to allowing the body to heal itself, or to complement medication, is to allow the body to perform homeostasis. Absolutely. What is homeostasis? Homeostasis is the tendency of the body to balance itself up, to perform repairs, to perform growth, to perform long-term rehabilitation with regards to our body system. So how do we allow the body to perform homeostasis? Basically, is to do what we love to do most of the time. Believe me, if you can focus your mind on connecting with life, either through the expression of what you love or through, basically, the most important is to focus on enjoying life, to focus on connecting with life, and to focus on kindness and compassion. Focus on elevated emotions. And as you do more of that, you realize that your chemical pattern will change. And also you will signal a very strong positive message and signal to every single cell in your body. And a few years ago, there was a lady that had been diagnosed of cancer, and that she was going to die soon, and she was given 6 months to live. And she was just one of those ladies that had grown in consciousness, that believed that a thought, a sense of will, a power of intention is so strong, and even a lot stronger than whatever skin condition, whatever biological condition she may have. And she focused on gratitude. She joined a meditation class. She joined different positive interest groups that could increase ability to see herself in a different state. And I tell you what she did that I thought was very revolutionary, was to actually identify the reason for life. She identified one thing that she wanted to live for, honestly. And she chose her children. She said, I wanted to see my children graduate from university. And that was it. And she began to practice gratitude every day. And whenever the fear came into her life, she understood that the fear is what will feed the cancerous cells. Yes. So it is the longevity of the fear, not that the fear itself will feel fearful all the time. But as long as it's not sustained over a period of time, that it begins to actually affect us on a cellular level, on every single second. It's good to be fearful. Everybody does that. But what she recognized was that I cannot allow fear to cripple me. So she would change her mindset anytime the fear factor came to her. She would say that I choose to live, to enjoy life, to connect with life in gratitude, in peace of mind, in joy, and in that sense of motivation and power, and very powerful desire for life. And believe me, 16 years later, she was still alive. She witnessed all her children graduate. Now, this might not be a typical question, a typical example. Things like that don't happen all the time. But that does not mean, Sharon, this can be something that could stimulate your mind to be able to stand and to say, I tell you what, I'm not going to allow fear to feed negatively or negative energy into my body. So that's very, very powerful. So with regards to right, let me just quickly check that again. I have a great fear cancer can come back, and lack of sleep and being in chronic pain causes anxiety and panics mostly at night. How do I learn to manage this? The best way to do that, like I've said, is the mind is very powerful. It's to change your mindset, to practice gratitude, to see, to use imagination, to visualize you as being perfectly whole, perfectly healed. And everything within you is responding to what the medical professionals are trying to give to you. It is a sensitive situation, and I'm sure that you'll be able to get through this. What is very important is to make sure that you do not allow the fear element of your past experience with cancer to cripple you. Okay, Great, great. If you have other follow-up questions, you could just give that to me. I'll make sure I keep an eye on the computer over here to make sure that we get some questions. So great. Welcome, Chinaye Mary. It's good to see you. Okay. Is the music going on? Can everybody hear me? If you can hear me properly. I think someone can hear me very well. Can everybody hear me properly? You could just write something there to make sure that I'm being heard properly. Okay, good. So some people are hearing me well. Okay, that's good. Oh, excellent. Now, I'm going to choose another because I've got a lot of questions here. I'm going to choose another question here to... Okay, there's some questions coming. Okay, yeah, Luke can hear me loud and clear. Sharon, well done, Sharon. Yes, Chinaye can hear me too. Hopefully I'm going to get to Chinaye's question today. There's another question here from Lisa. I'm not sure if Lisa is here. By the way, there's some people that couldn't join us today, but they said we could post this online for other people to be able to listen to what we've discussed today. But Lisa has written, and she actually gave me a little bit of a background to her situation. I'm going to quickly go through that. I am 26. Thank you, Louise, for your question. I'll get to that. I am 26 years old, and I would say that a few things from my past experiences: parents, separation, school bullying, and very recently a relationship breakup of 5 years, and then developing a skin condition called rosacea have probably led me to where I am today. Very anxious and at times very depressed. Now the question is, how do I break the cycle of feeling helpless and hopeless? I now find myself extremely anxious over the future and what will or won't happen to me. If it will get better, get worse, or remain constant. I don't know how to stop feeling this way. So you could see, when we have anxiety thrives by keeping us in the past and in the future. Anxiety thrives by keeping us in the past and in the future. Okay? And because of that, just hold on just a moment. And because of that, anxiety does not thrive when we are connected to the present moment. Anxiety wants us to think about the past and also to think about the future. Now, if you've had anxiety for over 6 months, at least, chances are the brain has been rewired to memorize your ordeals, the problems that you've gone through, and the chemical reactions, the stress hormones that happened at that time. So that means the mind and the brain have now memorized that chemical composition. So some of the thinking that you are having right now, they are just chemical reactions of the memory that the brain and the body actually have memorized from your deals in the past, all the problems you've gone through. So we're dealing with some emotional, some neurological, and we're also dealing with some biochemical issues here. So with regards to you actually forcing your mind actually forcing you to feel hopeless and to feel helpless and to also focus on the things in the past. Talking about a lot of things that are no longer, that you feel you're missing. And the fear that things will get worse is just a normal reaction of anxiety being ingrained. Now, how do we change? What is the solution? The solution starts with you acknowledging that the way you feel is a natural way that the body has been designed to feel under emergency. I usually share this in my events, that when you have anxiety, what happens is that you are in survival mode. You are using the parts of your brain that is called the survival brain, and because of that, all the energy has been almost dragged away from your thinking brain, has been dragged away from your emotional brain. So that means that what you do only is to produce chemicals. And those chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline, they eventually flood your body system, and they prepare you for action. They prepare you for fight or flight nervous system. And because of that, you just realize that you were always anxious. You were always anxious all the time. And now, if the body has been addicted to anxiety, this is what happens with you thinking about the past, worrying about the past, or worrying about the future. The chemical hormones must be secreted every day for the body to satisfy its addiction. Are you with me? Okay. Now, if the body cannot get enough stress chemicals, which now you have to produce enough chemicals every day to meet the addictive elements of the body with regards to the emotional, your anxiety. So if the body cannot get enough chemicals, it will have to stimulate the old memory, neurological pathways of the memories that have been recorded based on a lot of things that you've been through in the past. Now the brain will have to turn up to force you to think in a certain way, to worry about the past, signaling and just activating those memories, and also to worry about the future, so that you could begin to think and worry, and because of that you can produce those chemicals that the body needs. The first thing I want to suggest about this is to understand, like I said before, that the way you feel is normal, and also to realize that you will need to relabel your understanding of anxiety. It's we call it metacognitive skill. It's very small, but it's a very good start. You, instead of labeling that your anxiety is your greatest enemy, it destroys your life, see your anxiety as your body preparing for action. When you worry, think, my body is preparing me for action, because that's what it's all about. The body thinks you're in danger, and it floods your system with a lot of stress hormones. So relabel anxiety as something that just gets you excited. I was sharing with some people. I think it was just this weekend in Edinburgh. Was it Edinburgh? Yeah, Edinburgh. Yeah, I was in Edinburgh, and was saying, okay, just when you feel that sense of anxiety, when your mind worries, it's because it thinks that you are in danger at the moment, and you can say, I'm excited, get excited. The body is preparing me for action, but I'm not ready for any action right now. I want to relax, and you focus on your breathing. You can just breathe in and out about 14 times. Breathe in deeply and just release it slowly through your mouth about 14 times. And that should kind of bring you down with regards to anxiety that you're going through. Now, if you begin to regulate your breathing when you have anxiety, you will begin to confuse the amygdala. Now, if you regulate your breathing all the time, whenever you have intrusive thoughts, you're worrying, there's a panic situation going on, and you decide to, at that moment, just say, well, I'm excited, and begin to regulate your breathing. Just breathing in and out deeply and slowly about 14 times. That single action can be very powerful. What happens is that eventually the brain will get the message that you are signaling a different signal to it. So if you do that every day, each time you face anxiety, you realize that anxiety disorder will eventually start to go down, because you're beginning to do something different. You are not reacting to anxiety the way you're supposed to react to anxiety. So that is that, and of course we have different specific steps that we take in our events. Some of you have been to our events, and if you've not been, it might be really good to be there one of these days. We have more time to share stuff there as well. There's so many questions here that I would love to get through to. There's one here that says that is medication advisable for anxiety disorders? Is medication advisable for anxiety disorders? That's a good one. That's a really good one. I will say yes. Absolutely. Without medications, we will not have a lot of people around today. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Lou. Yeah, good. The event was useful for you. Getting back to the medications, I would recommend medications, especially if you have high anxiety, or you have a very intensive, severe depressive episodes. Not for a long-term solution. The medication is supposed to be a short-term solution to take us through the the very, very hard times. But they have their own role with regards to our mental wellness. I understand, however, that in this country, in the UK, even in the developed countries, we over-medicate, which eventually we can become addicted to our medications. And before you know it, we can get off it also because of the side effects. The side effects could be very huge. But you could start with a small dosage while you're working on you. One of the greatest things to counterbalance medication is to begin to develop your mind, begin to learn more about anxiety, begin to practice how to connect with life, begin to practice gratitude, kindness. There's so much research about kindness, about gratitude, about being able to force yourself to connect to life, not just for one day, but you have to maintain that for a long time for you to be able to reap the benefits. So that was great. Maggie, you were over medicated. Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people that I met, they said the same thing, and they got to a place where you can't actually get over your you can't walk away from medications anymore, because it's you've used them for a long time, and the body system have built their own resistance to it. So the body also begins to get addicted to it. So that's that. Let me just see whether I could get through to another question today. So anyway, to finish that medication question, I will recommend it. Especially if you're feeling so anxious, if your anxiety is at a very top level, go for it. Go and see your doctor, your GP, and let them know. And then they'll recommend something for you, some medications to you. And you could say that you want a very small dosage to start with, because you want to use counseling and therapy and personal development to go alongside that, so that you don't want to let the mind think the only solution is medications. Because when you speak, when you talk, your entire body is listening to what you're saying. So that is very important. Now, let me get to another one before we go today. Yes. Thanks, guys. Mary said, I can't drive alone in the car without an adult accompanying me. Even with that, still, I feel lightheaded and losing breath. Most times, I can't stand crowd or noisy environment. I know I've really stressed myself a lot, but it's very much intense now, unlike before. Now, anxiety does not start overnight. These particular symptoms resemble some panic attack situation, Mary. And one of the reasons why we have panic attacks could be because of multiple stressful life situations that we've gone through. Maggie, you're alone, a housebound. Okay, I'm going to get to that in a minute. So Mary, when we go through some stressful life situations, our body tries to cope with that stress by deploying a lot of stress hormones to maintain internal balances and also to prepare us for emergency. And Lisa, you listen to my meditation every day. Okay, that's great. You even hear my voice when you drive. Oh, excellent. Oh, great. Oh, in Chester last year. Was it last year? Yeah, you were in Chester last year. That's excellent. So let me just finish this particular question. Mary, what happens over time is that when you have a life challenge and it's not getting better at all, your mind worries a lot about that thing every day. And if your mind worries about your situation every day, eventually the body learns to prepare you for emergency. So that means every single day the body is giving you a lot of stress hormones. So tell me, after like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 months, you realize that it's almost like you've been drugged. You've basically been drugged by excessive stress hormones that are just coming up. And because of that, you realize that the body can go into a state of panic every now and then without even you knowing. It's gone into the survival mode of the brain. It's become automatic. So now, if you cannot drive, if you can't drive alone in the car, I would suggest that you stop driving right now. Yes, you stop driving right now. You can still, of course, you have to get to different places. You can let somebody give you a lift. The thing is that if driving alone has become one of your highest triggers, you have to make sure you get to a level of mind that is a bit better, a bit stronger before you return to it. Otherwise, you are overdriving your stress level, which could actually not help matters. Okay. So I would encourage you, if possible. I know it might not be possible. Avoid driving by yourself right now, but not to think that you're not going to return to it again, but it's to help you. The first thing I would like you to do every day is to take some time out to do some breathing exercises. We underestimate some breathing exercises because we don't do it long enough. Breathing exercises actually activate the body's natural ability to reset you away from anxiety. Honestly, if you can do it every single day, this transformed me personally when I had anxiety. So every single day you wake up, usually I will look for 3 things I'm thankful for every day. Are you still there, Mary? Okay, I would, I would look for some three things I'm thankful for, and after that, I will sit in silence. Then I will start with just observing my breathing. And when I started, my mind will race and everything like that. But just stay there. If oh great, yeah, you're there, Mary. Stay there for about 30 minutes in silence. This is absolutely powerful. Turn off the phones, turn off the. Make sure all the children are not running around. You possibly in the morning. Probably wake up early, if possible, and sit down there in silence. And just your mind will race. Eventually your mind will calm down. After about 25-30 minutes, your mind will calm down. Then you can then focus on your breathing. And when you breathe, you imagine you in that car, driving that car in a state of relaxation. Okay? And also when you are in the midst of crowd, imagine you being comfortable in the midst of a crowd. The thing is that the mind has rewired itself away from what is normal. You driving the car was normal before. You being able to stay in a crowdy environment, and being able to be strong and to be ready to connect. But because of the anxiety and the life situations, you're almost like your homeostatic level has been shifted. So you need to reset. And how do we reset? We reset not through noises. Believe me, we reset through silence. And the silence that you maintain every single day for at least 21 days, you will be surprised the amount of energy that you will generate. Everyone is watching me right now. Whatever you want to shift, you have to. The brain always responds to silence. The brain always responds to silence. Also, Victoria, when you struggle, when you're stuck in traffic, use the same thing. Create time every day, every single day for the next 21 days, to just sit down there in silence. If the mind wanders, let the mind wanders, but let the mind eventually, all those intrusive thoughts will eventually go, and the mind will calm down. And when the mind calms down, breathe in and out deeply 14 times. I've said this before, I'm still repeating myself again. Then while you're doing that, imagine a calm you. And once you imagine it, Sharon, it's almost like mindfulness, but with a purpose. Imagine a calm you. If you and before you know it, the key element here is repetition. If you do it for at least 21 days, you begin to see a shift in your energy system, because the brain will get the message. The brain will begin to rewire you for calm and confidence. So whether being able to be in a public arena to connect with people, imagine you being comfortable. When you're driving, imagine you being comfortable. If it's whether it is also with regards to the fear of cancer, imagine your entire cell in your body calming down and responding positively. Visualize, connect your mind, your sense of being to those cells, and eventually you realize that things begin to change. Because I remember I love what William James, Harvard professor of psychology, said with regards to our mind. He says that we often blame our problems in life against our environment. We often blame our life against our environment. In other words, we blame what we're going through based on what we've been through in our life. But it says that even though the environment may modify life, the environment does not govern you, doesn't govern life. Why? Because your mind is bigger than your environment. The human mind is so powerfully bigger and stronger than the environment. So if you begin to take control of your mind in silence, this is very powerful. You realize that things are beginning to change in a very powerful way. So what I'm focusing on today, there's so many techniques that we can use to help people move on. But what I've been able to focus on today, that you can go and do until we meet again for a life chart like this, is first of all to connect with life, practice gratitude, kindness. Connect to life, practice gratitude, kindness, compassion, appreciation, and love deliberately. Number two, do what you love. Ask yourself, what do I love to do? And increase the frequency of that, because when you do what you love, that is positive, your body has the energy and the time to reset itself. Okay, now number three is to do what I just asked you to do now. Stay in silence and grow your mind for calm and for confidence. Grow your mind through breathing exercise and visualization. So that would be great. That would be great. So thank you so much, guys. There's so many questions have gone on, and thanks a lot for your patience. I'm going to review all these questions and file them away for next time. I think we should have this more often. We're going to access and also evaluate different platforms to be able to communicate better. Now we have a lot of people watching right now, and I'm just scrolling down to make sure that Maggie White, I said I will get back to you. You have complete nervous breakdown. When did that happen? When did you think that happened? Donna, I got your question. I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to schedule another time to actually answer these questions. And Louise, I got your question as well. I've suffered with PTSD for over 9 years now, and nothing seems to help. I've seen therapists, and I've been taking medication since the beginning. I think I'm going to have this for life. Yes, that is the common belief system. But like I've said today, your mind is very powerful. With whatever you're going through right now, the last thing you want to do is to think that that is the end. Now, once you get into that learned helplessness, the cells in your body, they actually hear that. They hear that, and do you know what they do? They also begin to look for a way to come towards that statement, which is to give up. But you don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we keep going. I remember when I was having anxiety myself, I used to think my life was a waste. I would not be able to achieve my potential. But when I learned that my mind is my world, if I can keep my mind positive, even though my body, my life is almost wasting away, eventually things will turn around. But if I lose the power of my mind to focus and to hold on to the positive, the cells in my body, the brain, and every primitive natural survival mechanisms that's supposed to help me to get over my anxiety situation will shut down. So we don't want that to shut down. Okay, so great. I hope I've been able to answer a few questions today. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Amanda. I'm going to review all these questions that you guys have posted here. Julie Richardson, I'm going to also look at your questions. You missed the event in Edinburgh last weekend, so that's absolutely great. I'm just trying to scroll down also to make sure that I captured everybody. Chineye, thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you. Maggie, I can't keep going like this. Don't worry at all. I'm going to look at your questions, and next time I'm going to pick those questions that we've not touched today to see how we can help motivate you to a state of a state of mind and life where you can keep going again. My big question, my big last comment: don't give up. Don't give up. You know, I love this bamboo Chinese tree analogy. Have you heard it before? Chinese bamboo trees. If you plant a Chinese bamboo tree, honestly, if you plant it for 4 years, it does not sprout from the ground. I'm sure a lot of people will have lost hope. But once is the 50th year sprouts and it grows for up to 60 feet. That's a lot in just a few weeks. Almost as if the Chinese bamboo tree is growing before your very eyes. So maybe your own situation is like the Chinese bamboo trees, even though you might have had it for over 4 years, over 10 years. But what I want to say is that don't give up. It's going to sprout. There's going to be a better story. Your story will be there to motivate other people. Somebody wants to hear your story, and the best gifts you can give to them at that time, honestly, is a you that did not quit, that did not give up. A you that did not quit. A you that is tenacious. A you that holds on until you see a better situation, you create a better story for yourself, and you're able to motivate other people. So thank you so much. What is my site? My site is called mindbodybreakthrough.co.uk. mindbodybreakthrough.co.uk. You can also check some of our events out. We do events overseas, across the UK, if you're in the UK. I go in details to share principles and step-by-step guides to help other people. And you also be able to meet like-minded people and share experiences. A lot of people that find those very useful. So thank you so much for the very best. It's Wale here signing off. And I will catch you later. Bye-bye.